Chapter 14. I become a known fugitive. So there I was, falling toward the Mississippi River. My only thought was, "Ah!" And then, flaboom! I landed in the river. I sank through the muddy water and settled on the muddy river bottom without a sound. A catfish swam by. Clouds of silt and disgusting garbage swirled up all around me. Beer bottles, old shoes, and plastic bags. At that point, I realized a few things. First, I was alive. I should have been killed by the fall, but I felt fine. I had not been burned by the chimera's fiery breath. I couldn't even feel the chimera poison boiling in my veins anymore. Second, I wasn't wet. I could feel the coolness of the water, and I could see that the fire burning my clothes was gone. But when I touched my own shirt, it felt perfectly dry. I grabbed an old cigarette lighter from the garbage floating around me. There's no way this is going to work underwater, I thought. I flicked the lighter. It sparked. A tiny flame appeared, right there at the bottom of the Mississippi River. I grabbed a paper wrapper, and immediately the paper turned dry. I lit it on fire with no problem. But as soon as I let it go, the flames went out. The wrapper became wet again. Weird. But the strangest thing of all, I was breathing underwater. I stood up, deep in the mud at the river bottom. My legs felt shaky. I should have been dead. It seemed like a miracle had happened. Then I heard a woman's voice, a voice that sounded a bit like my mother. "Percy, what do you say?" Thanks." Underwater, my voice sounded like a much older kid. "Thank you, Father." No response. Just the garbage drifting by, the enormous catfish, and the light of the sunset above me, turning everything the color of melted butter. Why had Poseidon saved me? The more I thought about it, the more ashamed I felt. I was no hero. I couldn't protect those people against the chimera. Those poor people in the arch were probably burned up. Maybe if I was so useless, I should just stay down here with the catfish, living on garbage. Then I saw my sword, sticking up in the mud. I heard that woman's voice again. "Percy, take the sword. Your father believes in you." "Who are you?" I called aloud. Then I saw her, a woman the color of the water, floating over the sword. She had long, billowing hair, and her eyes were green like mine. A lump formed in my throat. I said, "Mom?" "No, child, only a messenger," said the lady. "Your mother is safer than you think. Go to the beach in Santa Monica. It is your father's wish. Before you descend into the underworld, you must go to Santa Monica." "But wait! Why do you look like my mom? And where's Santa Monica?" "I cannot stay, brave one," the lady said. She touched my face gently. "You must go to Santa Monica. It's in Los Angeles. And Percy, do not trust the gifts." She faded away. "Gifts?" I asked. "What gifts? Wait!" Her image melted away. "Your father believes in you," she had told me. She'd also called me brave. I grabbed Riptide. The chimera might still be up there with its snaky, fat mother. The police would be arriving, trying to figure out who had blown a hole in the arch. If they found me, they'd have some questions. I kicked up to the surface and swam to shore. Every police car in St. Louis was surrounding the arch. Police helicopters circled overhead. A crowd of people were watching, and a news lady was talking in front of a camera. "We're trying to get to some of the survivors to question them about someone falling from the arch." Survivors? What a relief. Maybe the park ranger and that family made it out safely. I hoped Annabeth and Grover were okay. Another reporter was saying, "Surveillance cameras in the arch show a teenage boy going wild on the observation deck, somehow setting off this freak explosion." I backed away, trying to keep my head down. Then Grover's voice bleated, "Percy! We thought you'd gone to Hades the hard way." Annabeth stood behind him, trying to look angry, but even she seemed relieved to see me. "We can't leave you alone for 5 minutes. What happened?" she demanded. "I sort of fell," I said. "Percy! 630 feet?" Behind us, a couple of paramedics rolled a woman by on a stretcher. I recognized her as the mother of the little boy who'd been on the observation deck. She was saying, "And then this huge dog, this huge fire-breathing chihuahua." "Okay, ma'am," the paramedic said. "Just calm down. Your family is fine. The medication is starting to work." "I'm not crazy. This boy jumped out of the hole, and the monster disappeared." Then she saw me. "There he is! That's the boy!" I turned quickly and pulled Annabeth and Grover after me. We disappeared into the crowd. "Was she talking about the chihuahua on the elevator?" asked Annabeth. I told them the whole story of the chimera, echidna, my high dive, and the underwater lady's message. "Whoa," said Grover. "We've got to get you to Santa Monica. You can't ignore a summons from your dad." We passed another reporter, and I almost froze when he said, "Percy Jackson, the boy who may have caused this explosion, fits the description of a young man wanted by authorities for a New Jersey bus accident 3 days ago. And the boy is believed to be traveling west. Here is a photo of Percy Jackson." "We've got to get out of town," I told Grover. Somehow we made it back to the Amtrak station and got on board the train just before it left for Denver. The train traveled west as police lights flashed in the darkening sky over St. Louis.